Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong and welcome to the back office. It is festive season. Well, almost. Not quite December, but we're knocking on the door. So I thought we'd do a festive kit. And as part of the festivities, I do have myself a fresh coffee here and a Fry's Turkish Delight, which I've been hanging on to because I've been on keto and I've kind of gone off keto yesterday and I'm just on a chocolate binge. So I'll probably go back on keto soon because I'll be absolutely sick of it. But I just wanted to have a quick bite. Yeah, it's quite good. As a kid, I always thought these tasted like soap, but they're fine. All right, let's get on it. This kit is available on Amazon right now. Gick Fun. I don't know what it's called. I'll put a link down below if I remember. This Christmas tree electronic kit has good looking instructions. Normally we don't have instructions to go by, so this is a real treat for us. And the thing about this kit is that it's a three-dimensional kit. So when you're done, you end up with a three-dimensional Christmas tree, which we can't quite see there, but yeah, you go, look. That's quite cool. But it does have a base too, which isn't in the picture. So let's just see what we've got. Battery holder and a power lead, so both items nice. Bunch of resistors, two different values. Put them there. And let's see our little bag of parts. Definitely a lot of LEDs. I was just looking around desperately for a container to put them in, but alas, none. So I just tip them out there. Now I think these might be bicolor LEDs. In fact, let's have a look at the circuit. Well, I don't think they are looking at this. It appears that we have 3 banks of LEDs on each board, and each bank is controlled by a single transistor through... Well, they've got these 10k resistors coming down from... This is the power rail, right? So you've got this 150R. That's controlling their brightness of those. So they're all going to come on at once. So you're going to get 3... So there'll be just basically 3 banks of LEDs that can come on independently of each other on each board, or each side of that. And you've got the same repeated on the bottom. I'm just seeing, is there any electronics, as in... What's controlling these? It looks like the... Oh, okay. So the base of the transistors are coming in via these capacitors. So I think they're just... They might flash in an order as the transistors discharge. They're 47 microfarads. Interesting. So there's not actually a microcontroller on there. These will be basically being controlled through normal, you know, electrical properties rather than sort of digital, some analog electronics. Right, there's a little nut and screw. Not sure what the nuts and the screws are for. Let's push them aside. Oh, for the battery box, no doubt. 2 nuts, 1 screw. Interesting. No, there's a second screw too. Just sort out all of these parts. Don't know if you've seen this before. It's quite neat. You put in your parts like so. And you go ka-chunk, and they come out nicely bent. We're pretty much ready to begin. I've marked the LED values here, and there is a single LED of 470 ohms. So we have our board. Let's have a look. Are they identical? Not quite. We do have an A and a B, and of course one has to slide into the other. So apparently the instructions say we're going to start with this A board, and it says install the resistance. R1, R3 and R5 are 10k. So we're going to take those 10ks and whip them off like so. And then we're going to have a little locate. Do a little zoom in so we can play at home. So we're looking for R1, and it actually says nicely on the board 10k. Right on the top. So even if you don't quite have the instructions, you should be able to build it. R5 is immediately opposite, and I can see R3 is below that. And I kind of wish I had the other resistors ready. But no, not to worry, we'll get there. There is a marking for some capacitors here, and we have to pop those onto at some point. But let's do the resistors because that's what they mentioned in their instructions. So we're going to get the other 3 150 kilo ohm resistors. Let's see if we can find out where R2, R4, well there's R2. Interestingly actually, R2 isn't marked, so R4 and R6 don't say 150 ohms, interestingly. Did I say 150k earlier? No, now I'm not sure what it should be. These are 150 somethings, don't worry. Okay, so that's those in. Then what's next? It says install the triodes using the bend. Oh, the triodes. I think it means transistors. And I haven't heard them called triodes for a long time. But it does like you to bend them flat. But according to their diagram, which I have here, they're not. They're bending them onto the flat edge, so we're going to do the same to make sure that we're not doing them against the manufacturer's wishes. And I'm just bending them over like that. I'm not doing a tight bend using a pliers. Doesn't seem like you need to. I wonder why they just didn't put the footprint then of a bent triode. And you can see I'm just holding it all in my hand at the moment. I'm going to probably top solder, and I'll show you what that means momentarily, but it does allow us to get all these main parts in, and I would say it's worth doing that because you're going to get your transistors, your resistors and your capacitors all in one go. So remember, long leg positive, and sometimes if you don't have the long leg positive, if you turn the can around you'll see there's a white band. That's the negative band. You can see it actually coincides with that short leg, so you can't really mess it up. So we're going to pop that in long leg positive. I'm going to give them a bend in a second, but I just want to get them in. I do like this kit already. I mean, it's well made, good instructions, nice parts, not too confusing so far. So what I'm doing is I'm bending them down and I'm just giving a little push in because I want to get those legs a bit straighter. You can see they've parked themselves nicely. Now I reckon it's time to solder these. The LEDs will go in next. The instruction just shows them putting in. It just shows these pieces going in, but it's not actually showing anybody soldering them. So yeah, you solder them as you go along. So I do have this mug full of old legs. So when I make things, I put the legs in here. And you can see it's like this heavy, heavy thing now. But I've always, where I can, do top soldering. And I'll turn this because I can see now the orientation of those capacitors will lend themselves to soldering if I do them in this way. So I've got my iron. Very tempted to take another bite of the old Turkish delight. There's not much left there. It's a very odd lunch though, isn't it, to have a Turkish delight, but not in Turkey, I suppose. However, interestingly, interesting observation that having been to Turkey, I can say I've never experienced anything like a Fry's Turkish delight in Turkey. So I do wonder what they would make of it if you went over there and said, there you go, look, I got me some Turkish delight. They'll be like, nah mate, what you got there is an abomination. And frankly, we're going to take it off you at the airport. Just in case you bring that in and someone thinks we made that here. Look at that. Interesting enough though, you don't get many, if you think of cultures that have lots of sweets, there's quite a lot of sweets in the old Indian culture, yet you don't really get them too much here as a mainstream product. I'm sure you can definitely get them, you know, if you go to Tan, but you can't get them from the newsagent. Right, so that's the top soldering done. I think I've got everything, you know, and you always check later, see if there's any you missed. But before you continue, you can see you've got this whole whole mess of legs that I'm firing everywhere. And my side cutters recently broke, actually, after cutting some, believe it or not, a bit of filament from a 3D printer actually broke my side cutters. So that was our old tough filament. But I will use these. These are quite good ones. These are the ones which hold on to the wire. You can see it holds on to the wire, so it doesn't ping off everywhere. I do usually use the one that pings off everywhere, because it normally lets me cut a million things at once. That's probably why it broke. But this one will only let you cut really one thing at once. You can see I'm kind of ignoring that button. and I'm not sure why. I think it's to do with the anti-pinging off technology. I think it just gets all the leads furled up in it. You can see it starts to make a bit of a mess. But one day I'm going to run around here with my old vacuum cleaner and see if I can find all those leads that's gone tonto. So let's check. Capacitors in, triodes or transistors. There is an R7. Oh, the R7. That's the this particular one on its own, the 470. I think we should pop that in. Then we need to look at our LEDs. Boom, boom. So, as I'm chopping this, LEDs, of course, are light emitting diode. So, diode is the bit you need to pay attention to, which means it has to go in one particular way. So, if we grab them, and you'll see, again, long leg, positive. I mean, I had to write that down till quite recently. I've only just started to remember that. But we do have to figure out, though, which is the negative and positive poles here, because the picture's not very clear. You do have a circle and you do have a square, and I think, according to the nomenclature on the diagrams, it's suggesting that positive is square. That's what they had on the capacitors. So we're going to pop them in like that. But you don't want it like this because it's supposed to point outwards. So I think we've got to pull it out from the edge a little bit and then give it a bend, just like that. Let's have a little look, see? And you can see there, I've just lined it up right to the edge, and I'll go and whisk the remaining LEDs in there. We're nearly there. I did notice on the other side as I was bending them, towards the end, I was getting a little bit slapdash with the old bending. And then I thought, am I really worried about it? Not really. This is just an ornamente. But I was wondering if you could spray the whole thing over in glue and then drop some of that flocking on it that model railway enthusiasts are so keen on. You might be able to get something that does look like a little furry Christmas tree. Look at that, isn't it pretty? Another quick bite. Merry Christmas to you too. Right. I'm going to solve this by a mouthful of soap. Sticks to your mouth like jelly. Although, I suppose that's what Turkish delights are generally. They're just a bit of jelly, aren't they? Oh no! Let's get that one back into shape. This is a really fun clip. Now, if you do have a chisel tip like me, you can see that's a bit chiselly. I'm doing the old dual pin soldering at once technique. But you don't have to, you can take your time. I mean, if you're doing this during the holidays, what else are you doing? Just chomping on those biscuits, Christmas snacks, eggnog, which I don't even know what it really is, but I'm going to try it this year. I've decided this year is going to be a proper Christmas holiday, and I'm going to get day drunk and everything. I mean, I don't really drink, but I'm gonna. I don't know why. Talking to a lot of people, it seems we need this Christmas, and frankly, I was massively pleased when I saw the Christmas decorations in the supermarket. And people usually whinge about it, don't they? Oh, they're putting it out earlier and earlier, and I'm like, bring it on. Bring on those mincy pies. I'm all for them. And look, you can do a little bit of your LED adjusting. Once it's out, there, that's fine. I will do the next board. That was uneventful. You have even fewer opportunities to make a mistake on this side because there's only 2 values of resistor to worry about. So just crack on, don't worry about it. And before long, you'll be smashing down those LEDs. And just a little gotcha there. See, I actually did do a solder bridge there, and it's removed. No stress whatsoever. I think that's all of them now. There are a few more LEDs left, but I guess one of them's going to go on the top of the tree, and maybe we get a few spares. Who knows? Sometimes I do forget components. It should all come out in the wash. The instructions now call for you to test the board, so I've chucked some batteries in that battery snap. I can't believe they give you the battery snap just for the test though. However, it's cool. And that looks pretty dinky dinky dink. And that looks pretty donky donky donk. So I think we're ready to proceed to the next stage, which looks like you're installing the switch onto this board. So let's have a quick look. DC jack, battery there, and your switch. And the switch, wherever it is, can it go in more than one way? Well, actually, it sort of can. So their suggestion is, you can see the switch has a little notchy bit in there under the white part. If I turn it around there, you can see there's none that side, none that side. So they're suggesting that is side one of the switch. So we'll pop that in. Again, a lot of switches, it doesn't matter, but you can see how it's wired up here. They're only wiring up these two pins of the switch. So if you did, for whatever reason, have it the other way round and the internal contacts don't mate with that, yeah, it probably wouldn't work. So there's your switch, your pair thing, your pair jack. Push it around there. Again, drag solder. Going to double check it. I could show you under the microscope these solders, but it's fine. It's good stuff. And dare I just put the battery thing straight on? I think I will. I've got the soldering iron out and it's hot. Why wait any longer? In fact, I think... What? What are they doing here? It's a bit weird. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What? I'm pretty sure that shouldn't be going through there, so I'm going to take this out. But it does seem lame. Honestly though, I'll probably end up chopping this. Stay. Don't move an inch. And we're done with that too. That's pretty cool. Right, so we actually have a power system set up for this. Oh, it did say though, it didn't say in the instruction, but we do know from the instructions that there is a means to secure this. So maybe you might want to be a bit more careful in how you're going to orient your leads. Or does it go that way? Anywho, so it seems that you have to put the two boards together at this point. I don't see how there's any particular way, so I'm just going to pop them in. And you can see there are some alignment marks actually, because you need those things to align. Let's turn it over, see what they say to do. And then you're going to put it onto the base and put the thing on the end. Fine. So what I'm going to do though, I'm going to actually just put a blob of solder on the alignments so they can't unalign or de-align or misalign. I never really thought that alignment was female, but yes, misalign. Let's get that in there. Look at that. That's not going anywhere. Another one here. And I bet you're screaming at me going, well, why don't you put it into the base first? Because your chances of it getting a bit skew-if here are way higher than if it's in the base. And then when you go to try to put it in the base, it's not going to want to fit. And that is a very valuable, very valid observation. And quite frankly, I suspect this is going to come and bite me in the bottom. However, that's good. If there's any bottom biting to be done, then I'm willing to be receiving it right now. So it looks to me, according to the instructions, that the switch and whatnot is on the top part. And then they're showing that these wires actually come up through the bottom and around. But we can resolder these later because we've got to put all the screws in and whatnot for the base. So let's just see if we can just put this in. And there's a plus to plus, minus to minus, plus to plus, minus to minus. We know Major Tom. Oh, it's just not going to work, is it? Right. Okay. So I'm not going to show you this first bit of soldering because I kind of need to do it like that myself, like. And then I'll turn it, and you can see I put a blob between the base and the tree. And I'm going to do the same on this side. And I'll show you the other ones as I do them. It's just this one. I want to put a bit of downward pressure to make sure I won't miss a line. How do I show you this? It's all a bit awkward. You have to work in the shadow of my lights. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, that's one. Ooh, 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 ooh. How musical we are today, eh? Bet you noticed that. Probably feels like it's going to be a good day. Okay. Mental. On. Oh, it does. Oh, no. Oh. Oh, no. Big problems. Big problems. Just notice that says plus, but that side says minus. Uh-oh. I'm in trouble. Something's come along and it's burst my buble. Oh, if only I had another Turkish delight. Anyway, I hope there's lessons to be learnt. Don't do as I... Just do as I say, don't do as I do. As Phil Collins said once in a song. Oh, this is going to be so painful. Ugh, okay, that was clearly the worst. We're not even done yet. So just got to break these. Those are not too bad. The base was terrible though. Right, so those are brought, like, should slide off. Lucky I didn't put the LED on the top. Right, so, ouch. I think you're looking for a minus to minus and a plus to plus, and I'm going to verify that for you. Yes. So look at the base. No. What? Oh yeah. Oh. 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 Did I just only have to rotate it? Hang on. What the heck? Plus. There. You know what? I don't know. Okay, I think I got it sussed out. So we've got that going, and you've got the plus to plus here on the base. Now I'm going to turn this around so I can see the plus here with the other plus sign, and I'll slide it down this way. It should work, provided I can now wedge it in the totally solder-filled holes. And they're kind of in, so I've just got to touch them with a bit of solder. And see, yes, it's illuminating. Just going to adjust this battery snap now. It feels to me like you're going to want to fit the battery base either way because it's a little bit wonky. I mean, if you are only going to use the USB, fine, but get some feet on it because that will drive you balmy if it's sitting on your desk. Now, let's get these tiny little screws in. Not the tiniest, but still pretty tiny. We're going to adjust the wire and stuff afterwards. I don't think you have to worry about it while you're doing this fit out. Push that one out of the way. Ah, not enough fingers. Yeah. Look at that. Getting the nuts on will be fun, as usual. I've clearly got good nut alignment skills. Come on. You just need one thread. One thread. Yes! One thread, boys and girls. More. I'm not going to lie. Actually, I thought I was going to have to turn off the camera while I was playing with these. That's my experience talking. Look at that. Wow, that was not too bad at all. Now I am looking and thinking, well, could you have routed the wire in a better way? Probably. Oh, look, you can still get it underneath, don't worry. Just pull them around to wherever you want. Okay, so the instructions showed it going under and around and doing all sorts of machinations. I mean, that's up to you. I suppose you could get them through there and then in there. That way you don't have any external wire. That would definitely be better than what I'm about to do. But I don't care. So I'm just going to splop it through here. If you've got a 3D printer mind, you probably could do quite a nice job of this. And make a little 3D printed thing to go with all your flocking, your model railway flocking that you were going to add, that we talked about a little while ago. See that little callback we did there? Little callback. Oh, I'm a bit worried there. I don't have much to play with on a wire that long. If I messed that up, it would have been proper messed up. Right, let's get the minus tinned, positive. Let's get that nicely tinned. And if you got tweezers, you can avoid burning yourself, but we have to try to twist this thing around onto there. Just like that. Look at that. That's all you need to do. Same again. Just get a little snip like that. Pull that through. I think we're on the home run now, don't you? I say the home run. I don't know sports. We're on the home run. Even I know that's wrong. I think I meant to say we're on the home straight. Stay still. Probably should have put the batteries in, give us a bit of weight. It's fighting me. The red wire's fight. Oh no! That was almost a total disaster. I jumped the gun there. Right. I got excited. Going on a climbing wall later. I can't contain myself. I don't know what a climbing wall involves. Look at that! Isn't that a festive miracle? I'm not even going to undo the wire because I can't be bothered. It's just another wire lying around, but it's going to work, right? 5 volts. Think about it. 1.5 volts each. 4.5 volts, 5 volts. Fine. What's it doing though? I mean, these clearly are doing their own thing. I mean, we have a couple of these. Oh no, we didn't put the light on the top of the tree. These clearly do their own thing, but I think these transistors and things are kind of stopping and starting them randomly and just basically giving you these additional effects. So I'm looking now. So we need to get this one in. Gosh, can you imagine what it would have been like if we forgot this? I would have never been forgiven. Makes me wonder though, why you've got 2 LEDs, yet you've only got one set of mounts for them. I mean, there are kind of mounts at the top there, but not in the way you really want. Okay, let's push that through a little bit more. I can see the pads on the other side are not conductive, so they're probably structural. You're probably supposed to use those to just keep the top of the tree together. So I will. I'm just going to solder this one leg here and then I shall show you what I'm talking about. So you're going, what are you squawking about, boy? And I'll be, well, hang on. Let me get this one as well. Oh, that's not solder. Right. So I can just make that adjustment and show you. Ah! Bugger. Why did it stop working? Did I short it out? What's happening? And there we have it. Ta-da! Oh. It seems to want to do its own thing. That's fine. this time of year, why not? And doesn't it look actually quite fantastic? It's really quite pretty. So I'll leave the links down below so you can see this kit. I'm going to just straighten out the LEDs, but I'm going to leave this on the counter, and I pretty much think my kids will be blown away seeing this. It's actually really nice. Thank you so much for watching.